Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Golden West College Criminal Justice Training Center open house ceremony. Am I too close to the mic? Thank you. Steve Ames always correcting me, so thank you. My name is Chief Rod Cox from the City of Cypress, and I'm the chair of the Executive Advisory Board, and I'm honored to be the Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Again, I'd like to welcome you to this morning to the Ribbon Cutting and Criminal Justice Regional Training Center Open House Ceremony. For your reading pleasure, we've included a program at your seat that includes all the biographies of our guest speakers today, and I would ask that you take a look at those and get to know our guest speakers, as we have some very important people and influential people that will be addressing this ceremony or addressing this group of people, so take some time to do that. As you notice, the first bio that's on there is my picture. If you'd like a copy of that, I can email that to you. Just leave your business card up here. I know you're all thinking you wanted it, so. And then today, during this ceremony, I'd ask that you check your cell phones and please put them on silent. And for all the uniforms around the room that have my cell phone number that I know are going to call me while I'm up here, I turn my phone off too, so good luck on that. To get us started this morning, we have Academy Coordinator and retired Police Chief Rick Hicks to lead us in the flag ceremony. Chief?
Being here. Good morning, everybody. This is a fantastic day for us, and we have the pleasure of Class 157 and 158. 157 came over midstream to participate in this brand new phenomenal facility. Class 158 will be the first class that ever started and graduated from our new center. So we're pleased to have both of those classes here. And I want to make one point before I have the privilege of bringing forward Congressman Rohrabacher. Every morning and at the end of every evening, our young men and women stand on that grinder. We call it the Court of Character. And they face to the west. And to the west are two important symbols. One is the flag of the United States of America. The other are 6 pillars which have on them character qualities that we espouse with our recruits. Every element of training that we have is infused with those 6 characters, and every morning and every afternoon and at any time that they fall out into our court of character or grinder, they're looking at those character traits. In addition, they're looking at our great flag, because these young men and women are being trained to be the most honorable men and women of integrity, constitutionally driven police officers you will find anywhere in the United States. And we can say that with great confidence and with great pride. And so without further ado, I'd like to ask the color guard for Class 157 to post. Color guard, post. While they're doing that, I'm going to ask the Honorable Congressman Dana Rohrabacher to come forward to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Congressman?
As we say our Pledge of Allegiance, let us remember that there is no freedom, there is no liberty and justice for all without a police force that protects our freedom from others who would do us harm. A police force that is courageous and is dedicated to those principles that our country is founded upon. Without them, they are the front lines of what we pledge today. So please join with me in pledging allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These are the heroes that make freedom what it really is. Without them, we would be defenseless and our freedom would be meaningless. So today, it's my honor to be here, and I have a special gift, and I think that Rod Cox, and I'm not sure who I'm supposed to present this to. Let me just note that this day reminds us of what Ronald Reagan used to tell me. On days like this, had the Pilgrims landed here instead of on Plymouth Rock, the East Coast would still be uninhabited. So I am so proud to have played a role in this. Chief Lowenberg and I worked together on this many years ago, and I'm so proud that we're expanding it today. Especially I'm proud that we've included a part of the program to train people who with disabilities to actually participate in this wondrous service that we provide our fellow citizens. So if we're going to build a better America, we know we're going to make it a better America, it's going to be from the bottom up, and that's what this is all about. So I have a flag for that flag bowl out there when all these young protectors are out there looking at those admonitions of character, but also on our flag. This flag was flown over the capital of the United States of America. And as I say, we're building a better America from the bottom up. I would like to present it, Mr. Hicks.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry to have to run off now. I will be flying the red eye out tonight, but I'm also got about 5 or 6 things that I've got to do. But God bless you all, and thank you for letting me participate in the program.
Please be seated. At this time, we'll hear from the Coast Community College District trustees, Measure M Oversight Committee, and Coast Community College District Chancellor. Please welcome, and I'll name off all 3, Mary Hornbuckle, President of the Coast Community College District Board of Trustees, Carolyn Cavici, Measure M Oversight Committee member, and Chancellor Weiss-Fenning, Coast Community College District Chancellor. If all 3 of you please come forward.
Thank you and welcome. We're delighted to have so many of you here today to share with us in this wonderful event, opening the Criminal Justice Training Center. This is the premier training center, and we know it has been for a number of years, and now, with this new facility, it's the most wonderful one ever. The difference between this training center and many others, Chief Hicks alluded to, is that this training center is built around the 6 pillars of character. It grounds our students, it helps them move forward, and some of you may not know what they are, so I thought I would tell you before you look at the pillars out there. Trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. 6 important pillars. In my former life, as an early childhood educator, I didn't have much interaction with the police force, thank goodness. And in my present life as a member of the Board of Trustees, I also don't have a lot of interaction with the police force. But recently I had an encounter with the Westminster Police Department. No, it wasn't a traffic ticket, nothing like that. I had a check stolen. But Detective Brian Perez impressed me with the way he handled the case and the way he addressed me and the way he addressed the issue. So I asked him, where did you get your training? And he got his training here. So we had a lovely conversation about what a good place this is for officers to be trained. And he pointed out that a good number of officers in the Westminster force have been trained here. So that was a delight. Now for him, that was just another day at the office taking care of business. For me, it reinforced the importance of the work that goes on here, the importance of the kind of people that you're helping to build. So congratulations to all of you. Ron, congratulations, and Rick, thank you so much for the work that you've done, and I hope you enjoy this facility as much as I've enjoyed seeing it. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Carolyn Cavecci. I'm a member of the Measure M Citizens Oversight Committee, and my day job is the CEO of the Orange County Taxpayers Association. Now, as some of you may know, the state of California requires that a Citizens Committee provide taxpayer oversight to make sure that all school bond monies are spent as the taxpayers approved in the actual school bond language. It's a really exciting job to do. It's important, though. It is very important. Every district throughout the state of California, whether K through 12 or community college, is required to have an oversight committee. And the Citizens Oversight Committee of Measure M would like to take this opportunity to thank Golden West College for supporting this wonderful project. Now, I know that the training and development that will take place in this facility is going to benefit hundreds of communities in California by helping to promote public safety. The Criminal Justice Training Center plays a critical role in training the future law enforcement in Orange County. It is truly something that Golden West College should be very, very proud of. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the leadership at Golden West College for allowing this critical public safety infrastructure to be completed. Thank you very much. I also would like to acknowledge the Coast Community College District and its Board of Trustees. Their continued leadership over the Measure M Bond program has really just been exemplary. So thank you so much. Congratulations to the entire community, the college, the entire Coast Community College District, and the leadership here at this Criminal Justice Training Center. And lastly, I'd like to offer my thanks to my fellow committee members for their time, dedication, and effort to help ensure that taxpayer dollars are used only as their intended purposes. And I don't know if there are any of my colleagues are here or not. No? Well, it is an honor, truly an honor to be a part of this committee, especially for this particular project. And it was really an honor to help see this project come through completion. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm John Weisfenning. I'm the Chancellor of the Coast Community College District. One of the questions I get asked most often is, what does a chancellor do? And it took me a while to come up with a short answer, but the short answer is I try to make sure that we have the people and the resources in place to educate our students. And as I look around at this facility, I know that this is a resource that will continue to make a difference in the lives of people in Orange County and beyond for the decades ahead. This truly is a fine facility that will provide our students with a 21st century education in law enforcement. I can speak somewhat personally about this because my brother-in-law went through this Criminal Justice Training Center about 20 years ago, and he's had a good career. He worked with the Tustin Police Department and with the Orange County District Attorney's Office, and based on my experience knowing him, I'm confident that we will continue to do the excellent job we've done in the past, but now in an absolutely wonderful facility. This is a great facility, a testament to the work being done here at Golden West, and thanks to the taxpayers for making this possible. We intend to continue to give back to our communities. Thank you. We have two other trustees here that I'd like to introduce as well. Trustee Lorraine Prinsky is with us. And Trustee Jim Moreno. Thank you.
Thank you. As you can see, we have unbelievable support for this program and the building of this facility, and we thank you for the efforts of all levels of the organization for participating in this and playing a role. I often get asked, what does a chief do? And I say, I delegate all my work to my commanders. Thank you, sir. Commitment is defined as the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause. Over the past 40 years, our next speaker has shown his commitment, support, and dedication to Golden West College. Please join me in welcoming President Wes Bryan.
Good morning and welcome to Golden West College. We're excited about this building. There's at least two people that thought from the bottom of their hearts this would probably never happen. One is Chief Lowenberg and the other is myself. Because this was on Measure C, right? And so it just took a long time to get what we wanted. But as you tour this facility and you look around, you'll know that the wait was worth it. We have the finest facility, I think, that I've seen. Today, I'm to introduce some people, and from the Coast Community College District, so you're going to get a double. I'm going to do my job because I live by scripts, because if I don't do my script, when I go back to the office, I hear it. Chancellor Dr. John Weiss-Fenning. Vice Chancellor Andrea Serban. Vice Chancellor and Coast Community Measure M Oversight Co-Chair, Dr. Andy Dunn. Board of Trustees President, Mary Hornbuckle. Did Trustee Grant come? I think he'll be later. Trustee Lorraine Prinsky. And Trustee Patterson will be arriving a little later. Now I'd like all the city officials and representatives that are here today to stand to be recognized. Stand up right now, like all the electeds. Because it takes a whole community to build a facility like that. Trustee Jim Marino, stand up again. I'd have heard about that when I got back. Thank you. All the people, all the contractors that have had parts in this building in Measure M, would you please stand up and be recognized? Give them a hand. Come on. They made it happen. These things do not happen by accident. They happen because people pay attention to the details. They take an idea and boil it down to paper, measure everything, put together a set of plans, and have another group of people come in this situation together and build it the way it was designed. And because the way this was built in a design-build combination, the contractors, and when there was anything that didn't look right, and there wasn't many of that, but it wasn't up to us to fix it, it was up to them to fix it. And that was a nice thing. So it is a wonderful day. We didn't think it would come. We're glad it's here. We're glad that you are here to celebrate this, and we're glad that you'll be able to see for years to come. Oh, Trustee Grant. So thank you for coming today and celebrating with us a dream come true.
We are honored to have our keynote speaker with us today. From the California 4th District Court of Appeals, please welcome Honorable Justice William Bedsworth.
I know those of you in uniform probably feel like you've already had to listen to me too much in your career. For you and for everyone else, I have both good news and bad news. The good news is they've only given me 10 minutes. The bad news is they've given me 10 minutes. I've been given the honor of joining all of you today, and I want to use those 10 minutes to make some points about the need filled by this spectacular facility. I was born in 1947. I was a boy in the 50s. John Murphy, my next-door neighbor and godfather, was an LAPD sergeant. His equipment consisted of a .38 special revolver, a billy, a flashlight, and a pair of handcuffs. The people who are trained here will be equipped with a 9mm semi-auto 14-round sidearm. They will carry multiple magazines, double handcuffs, a tear gas canister, a baton, a handheld radio, a taser, a flashlight, a voice-activated audio recorder, a body camera, a tactical knife, and a hidden backup pistol. In their trunk will be a shotgun, a patrol rifle, and a patrol bag full of report forms, first aid kits, and a dozen other items John Murphy never imagined. They will be expected to know how and when to use all of those things. Sergeant Murphy had been trained to drive and to shoot. He had not learned artificial respiration. He knew nothing about CPR or the use of a defibrillator. He never saw an upper body protection vest. He never used a computer to check a record or registration. Those tools and the expertise necessary to use them were science fiction to him. His knowledge of search and seizure law was rudimentary. Mapp versus Ohio had not yet been decided, so very little evidence was being excluded on the basis of Fourth Amendment violations. He did not know the Miranda warnings because Miranda had not been decided until 1966, the year he retired. He knew nothing about detention law because Terry versus Ohio was not decided until 2 years after that. He did not know how the rights of high school students differed from the rights of adults because nobody knew that until the Supreme Court told us in TLO versus New Jersey in 1985. The men and women who go through their training here will be able to debate the finer points of all of those court decisions and dozens of others and hold their own with any lawyer. They have to be able to do that to do the job correctly. Sergeant Murphy knew almost nothing about crime scene preservation or trace evidence. Blood spatter interpretation, fingerprints lifted with chemical fumes, obtaining evidence from cell phones, hell, cell phones themselves were all things none of us even imagined when the first academies began going through the facilities here at Golden West in 1969. When this college opened in the 1960s, the letters DNA were juxtaposed only on monogrammed sleeves. I was the first judge to rule on DNA evidence in Orange County, and that was in the late 80s. Law enforcement changes hourly, folks. It is no easier to keep up with the changes in law enforcement than it is to keep up with changes in medicine or physics or biology or ballistics or pharmacology. All of which, by the way, are things the modern police officer must know a lot about, must learn and relearn constantly. Do you think that's an exaggeration? Those of you not in uniform, ask yourself about the changes in the last 8 years. How much did you know about methamphetamine in 210? How much did you know about AR-15s 5 years ago? How much did you know about sniper scopes and bullet trajectories before the Mandalay Bay massacre? How much did you know about opioids 2 years ago? How much did you know about bump stocks and high-capacity magazines a year ago? Every day, every time a cop picks up a paper or watches the news, she learns about something else she will have to know about, probably before her next shift. The amount of education and re-education our police must assimilate every day is staggering. It requires literally, and I emphasize, I mean this literally, not figuratively, it requires literally more daily re-education than a doctor or lawyer ever needs to do his or her job. And when a peace officer applies that re-education, he or she has to be a psychologist, a pharmacologist, a teacher, a counselor, a lawyer, an EMT, and a badass superhero, probably all during one shift. It has always been a tough job. Long before anyone had ever heard of Stephon Clark or could find Ferguson, Missouri on a map, law enforcement was a brutally difficult way to make a living. Why? Well, for one thing, the Constitution our police take an oath to defend was devised by rebels. Our founding fathers were protesters. Think of the Boston Tea Party and the Bunker Hill Massacre. Those were protesters. They were men who had been oppressed and subjugated, and they were determined it was never going to happen again. So when they won the revolution, they instituted a system designed to restrain their new government, designed to make sure they would never be oppressed by the government again. The whole system is set up to exalt the individual and to limit the government. Folks, the United States of America is the only place on the planet where in a case called Miranda versus the state, Miranda wins. That's what the Revolutionary Army fought and died for, and that's what our police protect. When you represent the government in a system like that, you have to know it's going to be difficult. And it is. It is as difficult a job as there is on this planet. Imagine doing what you do. I don't know what your job is. Whatever your job is, imagine doing it with people throwing rocks at you, people spitting on you, people trying to kill you. And then think about what their job description is. Their job description, these people in uniform, is putting your life on the line every day for strangers, dealing with the mentally ill, mediating domestic violence, counseling child molestation victims, consoling the bereaved, pulling people out of burning vehicles, chasing psychopathic 15-year-olds down blind, dark alleys knowing they have a gang gun, but they don't yet have a conscience. What kind of person takes that job? I don't understand it. I've never understood it. My jobs have required me to study cops for 37 years. I've worked with them. I've played ball with them. I've drunk beer with them. I've laughed with them. I've cried with them. I've celebrated with them, and I've suffered with them. But I have never, for a single moment, understood them. I cannot imagine what kind of person does all the things they do for a society of strangers. 3 million of us in this county whom they will never meet, but for whom they are always committed, always there, always ready. It's not a job, folks. It's a calling. And if you haven't been called, you can't understand those who have been. So I no longer try to understand them. I just thank the Lord for continuing to turn them out. And I suggest you do the same. And as long as I'm giving thanks, I thank all of you for supporting them. I thank all of you for supporting endeavors like this spectacular new facility. I thank you for making sure they will have the training and support they need for this complicated job. I thank you for continuing to encourage our best young people to take up this work. And I thank you for giving me 10 minutes to express my thanks to you and to them. Thank you.
Very nicely done, sir. Thank you. Joining us today from the California Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training, please give a round of applause for Mr. Manny Alvarez.
Chief Cox, President Bryan, and members of the Coast Community College District, I want to thank you for affording me the opportunity to be present today, as well as for letting me speak. My name is Manny Alvarez, and I serve as the Executive Director for the Commission on Peace Officer Standards and Training, or POST, as we are commonly referred to. POST is an agency made up of 118 men and women who serve the needs of the state by setting hiring standards, delivering training, conducting audits, and setting regulations for 40 police academies and over 600 law enforcement agencies, all of which voluntarily participate in the POST program. Approximately 88,000 peace officers and 8,000 public safety dispatchers fall under the POST program. Law enforcement throughout the nation, including this great state, is challenged more and more every day. The people we serve, or the people they serve, the citizens of California, enjoy the service of the most highly trained peace officers in the nation. And that is reflected in the daily work of the men and women who serve their respective communities. The California law enforcement community is respected across the country as a gold standard for others to follow, and it is the envy of many other states. We set some of the highest hiring standards, and we mandate extensive training throughout the careers of dispatchers and peace officers. The responsibilities for contemporary law enforcement professionals have increased exponentially compared to even a few decades ago. And increased training is needed to meet those demands. By way of example, in recent years, law enforcement has inherited a tremendous amount of responsibility in the areas of mental health, homelessness, and youth mentoring programs, just to name a few. Tackling these challenges starts at institutions such as the Regional Criminal Justice Training Center at Golden West College. Each year, your college conducts a series of regular basic courses, specialized basic investigator courses, and 2 public safety dispatcher courses. In fact, the only training center in the entire state that provides this specialized basic investigators courses here. These are the foundational courses for California law enforcement personnel. The training, however, doesn't stop there. Your college conducts a total of 23 other post-certified in-service training courses in areas such as instructor development, crisis intervention, and supervisory courses for police sergeants and public safety dispatchers. This new training facility is one of the most modern and beautiful law enforcement academies in the state. We are confident it will only enhance the quality of instruction you are already doing. In closing, I want to thank Director Lowenberg and Coordinator Hicks, wherever he may be, I saw him up here initially, for all the great work that you've done over so many years in the area of law enforcement training. Ron, I want to thank you for all your years of service as a chief of police in this great state, but more importantly for your position on the Post Commission for so many years. Thank you. Both Ron and Rick are known throughout the state as leaders in the profession, and they are nothing but consummate professionals. Ron and Rick, thank you for your leadership and your partnership. Congratulations on building such a great facility. You're the envy of the other 39 academies. And lastly, as I see all the men and women in uniform and some that are wearing the badge, I just want to thank you for what you guys do every day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please welcome retired law professor and author Michael Josephson to speak about the 6 pillars of character.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. When Chancellor Weisfenning mentioned it's difficult to give a short answer, at my height, all my answers are short. And so I find that not difficult at all. I was on the radio for a little while, and people would always say, you're so much taller on the radio. So with that, I'm really very proud to be part of this. I've been working with Ron Lowenberg we were trying to figure it out, but it's well over 20 years. And over 10 years at least, this institution has adopted the 6 Pillars of Character, which I'm proudly the author of in a program we do called Character Counts. And I want to say, not only is this an absolutely outstanding physical facility, and it's an exemplar of that, this is an exemplar of a principle-based training institution. And I think it's that commitment that makes this extraordinary and exceptional. I have some idea of how difficult it was because I've known Ron a lot of years to make this happen. I don't know the president personally, but the commendations they deserve to, in this economy and this time, to make this kind of thing happen is absolutely extraordinary. Right now, the only 2 positions I know that sort of have lifetime tenure are federal judges and the president of China. But I think that if we were to have lifetime tenure, I hope Ron Lowenberg could get such a thing for this institution, because I think he well merits it. This is an exemplary center, and it's built on the 6 pillars, and we're working with the faculty to integrate it even more and the different kinds of programs. And I think those principles are important, and I just want to expand on them a little bit. Trustworthiness is easy to talk about, but it's a complicated notion. It means knowing and living up to professional policing agency values. It means walking the talk. It means moral courage to do the right thing even when it costs more than you want to pay. And sometimes that's much rarer than physical courage. It means telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and never deliberately deceiving except when it's legitimately justified as part of policing. It means that your word is your bond, and it means that you're faithful to the oath. The oath of honor is, I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution, my community, and the agency I serve. This institution helps embed that oath in the DNA of the new officers. And that's what has to happen. It can't just be something that's on a wall and a pledge, and I love seeing it on the pillars, but that doesn't do anything except as a reminder. And this institution is building on trustworthiness. There's also respect, and that's as easy as the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It's use your lawful authority only to the extent necessary to accomplish the lawful purpose, and always have the highest possible reverence for human life, even of people who don't seem to deserve it sometimes. Respecting the disrespectable or unrespectable is one of the great challenges, but we treat people with respect, not because we respect them in the sense that we revere them, but because that's who we are, not who they are. Responsibility, in Isaiah 6:8 it says, I heard the voice of the Lord saying, whom shall I send, and who will go for us? And then said I, here I am, send me. And that, of course, is really the motto in the oath of police officers. Send me. I'm the one who's going to rush into dangers, and I will protect. And it's so wonderfully, your speech was wonderful, Justice. Thank you very much about the idea of protecting a community of strangers. Calvin Coolidge said, no one is compelled to choose the profession of police officer, but having chosen it, everyone is obligated to perform its duties and live up to the highest standards of its requirements. And this institution helps them know those requirements and live up to them. And that's the pillar of responsibility. The pillar of responsibility embraces professionalism, but it also embraces the notion of to do one's duty in a much more complicated world than, as you said, your friend the officer had before. Right now, it is up to every police department not only to enforce the laws, to prevent and reduce crime, to bring criminals to justice, but to maintain order, safety, and the quality of life, to develop positive community relations, and uphold and enforce civil rights. Sometimes these things compete with each other, and many times they're extremely difficult in practice to do. And so we need trained professionals who are willing to do it and constantly learning and growing so they can. And so professionalism also includes this idea of continued learning and continued growth. Fairness is about impartial service and enforcement to all segments of the community, to eliminate all forms of bias, and to both, thank you, I heard you, I'm going to stop. You have to stop first. I don't know how to turn this off. Technology is, well, I'll just put it in my back pocket and it'll have to ring through my ass, and then, I don't think it'll get through. But I had two more pillars, so forgive me, for taking the time. Hope that wasn't disrespectful. The pillar of caring is to demonstrate concern for the well-being of all, even bad guys. It takes true caring heart to ungrudgingly help those who don't seem to deserve it and may never appreciate help. And yet that's the task and the assignment of police officers. The notion of purpose is absolutely critical. It's been said, I cannot do all the good the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. And that's what they're doing here. My commendations to this wonderful institution, this wonderful endeavor, and all of you who played major roles in making this happen. This is the finest facility of its kind in the country. It's going to continue to be so, and I'm very proud to be working with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. You got that thing turned off yet, or are you going to stomp on it? So we're going to trust or check on the trustworthiness of our troops here. I'd like to know who colored a full head of hair on my picture on this program. Wow. Okay. Dean Lowenberg has been a part of the Golden West Criminal Justice Training Center since 2003. Prior to coming to GWC, Ron spent 36 years in the law enforcement profession, and I think he's worn probably every patch in the county during his time as an officer and chief. Please join me in welcoming Dean Ron Lowenberg.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. And Wes is right. There was a time when I really didn't think this was going to happen. Not in my lifetime. But when I saw him putting the steel in the ground, I said, this is really going to happen. Good Lord, let me hold on for just a little bit longer so I can enjoy it. Let me first of all recognize some of the folks in the audience that I have the opportunity to work with, those individuals who I have the deepest respect for. And I won't even begin to go to the detail that the Justice did about the challenges of this job. And many of you are already standing, but I'd like all the law enforcement, public safety personnel, criminal justice agency individuals, uniformed and civilians, to please stand or give a wave and be recognized, please. Part of my responsibility this morning is to not only recognize folks, but give the appropriate thank you to a whole bunch of people. So please bear with me. And I'm going to name some people by name. I know that I've risked the possibility of forgetting someone, so allow me to apologize in advance. But I'd like to start off with, and let me start with a story. I love stories, and I've been in this business long enough now that I've got a story for everything. In fact, I'm starting to stack stories. So the other day I was walking in the facility, and I see one of our longtime training officers, who happens to be go unnamed, but is a lieutenant from Anaheim PD, walking through the building and kind of just looking around. And I says, so what do you think? He says, this is beautiful, but it's not fair. And I says, so what's not fair? He says, it's not fair that we had to put up with that crappy building over there for so many years, and all the new guys are going to come on board, and they're going to have the benefit of this beautiful facility, and we who really appreciate the new building remember the old building. And I says, Tim, oh, I'm sorry. Tim, think about it this way. When the new guys come on board in a year or so, you can say, I remember back in 18 when we worked out of the old facility. That was real police training, right? But a lot has been said today about a number of people that have been involved in making this happen. And I want it clear that no one individual is larger than any one organization. Long before I arrived here, the people that were the trainers, the people that were the managers and supervisors, the former deans and directors of this facility built the foundation. And one of the best parts of my job is being able to work with these men and women on a daily basis. All of them, not individually, but all of them together allowed this to happen. We thank the elected officials, we thank the folks at the district, we thank the Measure M folks. Wes and I have disagreed on a few times, but I've always understood that he's the boss. And we never, I don't think, none of us ever complained in public. We always complained behind closed doors. But all that behind us, look what we have to show for it. Not only is this facility pleasing to the eye, it's operationally sound. And we won't know for sure until we're completely operational, but we're getting close. We even sent a team of folks to other institutions of this like and asked a number of questions. One of them was, if you had to do it over again, what would you do different? And we got a lot of good advice. So I hope all of you later on, when we're done with the program, I mean, it's important for us to recognize folks and to have this formal program. But the real meat of the day for me is for us to share with you what an outstanding facility this is. So please take advantage of the tours. I think you'll be rightfully impressed. So all of you that were here before I and who have been here since, thank you for the job you've done. Thank you for the former and present chiefs who stood. Thank you to the command staff. One of the other distinct advantages of being in this business so long is had the opportunity to work with many of you. And again, I have the deepest respect for all of you. For you who are on the construction team, Costa, Dave, Michael, the list goes on and on and on. Again, I told you I'd probably forget somebody. Thank you. You built this building in record time and with little pain. I know now just enough about building new training facilities to make me dangerous. Thank you for that. Special thank you to Rick Hicks, Steve Ames, Rich Wimmer, those who were the individuals that helped us plan this new facility with the end in mind. We knew that we had the best curriculum, Director Alvarez. We knew we had the best faculty, but we had crappy facilities. We still have the best curriculum. We still have the best faculty. Now we have the best building. Thanks to Stan Berry from the District Attorney's Office. Thank you, Stan, for filling all of our display cabinets with the history of Orange County law enforcement. And for some of you, if you want a real kick, go to our Ready Room on the tour. Stan has former academy classes displayed in there, and you might want to look at class number 36. You know how long ago that was? What class are we at now, Court? Yes, 158. 158. 36. 1967. I know I don't look that old. Thank you. And certainly, last but not least, I must thank my family, who a number of members are here today. Everybody's busy, so not everybody can make it. But, sweetheart, my wife, Kitty, of 52 years, six children, 15 grandchildren, and the 9th grade on the way later. Here we are. She put up with me as a young Marine, as a young police officer, all the way through the ranks, 20 plus years as a police chief, and most recently, 2 interim police chief jobs, and yes, sweetheart, I'm done doing that. My eldest daughter, Wendy, who's a graduate of the School of Nursing here at Golden West College and is now director of the transplant unit at St. Joseph's Hospital. Wendy, please take a bow. And one of our middle sons, Tim, who's the managing partner of Roy's Restaurant at the Garden Walk in Anaheim. Well, the Justice talked a little bit about the challenges of policing. I just want everyone in this room to know that we understand that. We may understand that better than anyone. We understand it at the point that we know that we have a responsibility to offer the best training available in the nation through this institution. And now we can really do that with its new facilities. It's a complete and comprehensive training facility. Benjamin Franklin said, "Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn." This training complex will teach me, will involve me, and will equip these young men and women and the people in service to be the peace officers and the people that support them that they need to be. Our goal here at the training center is to not only build character, as been mentioned, and it was even mentioned that we need to build courage. In my humble opinion, it's the John Wayne type of courage. John Wayne, you say? Yes, John Wayne. When he said, "Courage is being scared to death and willing to saddle up anyway." Our goal here at the Criminal Justice Training Center at Golden West College is for our recruits and our in-service trainees to understand what courage is all about, to understand that it's okay to be scared to death, but to saddle up anyway. Please take advantage of our tours. Thank you for coming today. I pray for Thanksgiving every day to allow me to continue to do this, because I really believe in my heart we're doing God's work. Don't forget to pray today, all of you. Pray to your God, because he didn't forget to wake you up this morning.
Great job, Ron. Great job. Did you say Roy's Restaurant? You'll be sticking around a little longer than you thought, sir. At this time, I'd like to welcome President Wes Bryan back to the podium for a special presentation.
I think the speakers helped us understand the why of this building. We also want to have a recognition for the who of this building. So Ron, if you'd come back up here. This says, "Our legacy is our vision, inspired leadership, 6 pillars of character, community policing, dedicated training officers, stellar graduates." On April 10th, 2018, we happily opened the Criminal Justice Regional Training Center. With appreciation and gratitude, we salute and thank Chief Ronald E. Lowenberg, CJTC Dean. And because Ron is a chief, we've handed him this plaque, but we didn't choose where it would go. So that's a chief's honor. Thank you. And we'll mount it someplace in this facility once the chief tells us where. Thank you. Thank you. Wow.
Right here, No, you're the president.
Yeah, that's portable, so you know.
Okay, so that concludes our ceremony as far as the guest speakers. We're going to do a little fun stuff here, the foundation setup. We're going to do some drawings for some prizes. So everybody got a ticket when they came in the door, correct? Those of you that did, good. Those of you that didn't, you can't win. Yes, I've got them. So the first prize will be some GWC swag here, a sweatshirt, a rain jacket, and a baseball cap. Oh, there we go.
Do you think we should shuffle in there? Well, I will. Are you not going to?
Okay, first winner is, oh geez.
Just the last 3 numbers, so we need the last 3 numbers.
996534. 996534.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to sing the national anthem.
Okay.
Thank you. The next prize is a Amazon gift card donated by ViewSonic. 996760. 760.
It's that young man right there?
Is it you, sir?
Yes. Yeah, come on up. Congratulations.
There you are, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations. And the next prize is a voice-activated speaker and clock. And that was donated by Digital Networks Group. 996654. 996654.
Oh.
You're supposed to scream and wave your hands and kind of like The Price is Right. Here we go. And the Cypress Police Department recently retired one of their canines, so we're going to give away a Cypress Police canine stuffed SEM dog.
That was going to be the dog.
996-522. 522.
Oh, yay, you're on.
Very nice. And we'll do one more. One more SEM dog. Nine 543. 543. The director of Rio Hondo Police Academy. Nice.
Any more? Are we done?
Yeah, we'll finish them off. Two more. 996-753. 996-753. Let me guess, the director of San Diego Police Academy. Last chance, 753. 996-778. 778. Oh, here we go.
Oh!
Nicely done. And finally, 996-740. So, there we go. Thank you.
Okay, that's all.
Congrats.
Thank you.
You want to raffle off the helicopter, is that what I heard? Jerry Patterson. Oh, Trustee Jerry Patterson is here. Thank you, sir, for being here. Sorry, sir, you missed the dog giveaways. Okay, we're going to do presentations by our electeds or their representatives real quickly. If you brought a certificate or a plaque to be given to the Academy here, if you can line up over here, and we'll give you a short time frame to introduce yourself and present those certificates.
By the way, I failed to thank a couple of other people that I should have thanked. Chief Rob Handy and the Huntington Beach Police Department, they were kind enough to bring in HB-1, the helicopter, this morning. We have, and we have West County SWAT. Oh, there's Chief Handy out there. He's trying, you're trying to hide, aren't you? You knew better than to hide from me. By the way, which reminds me, would all my fellow members of the Huntington Beach Police and Community Foundation board members please stand up or wave? Yes, there's City Attorney, our City Attorney. You never know when you need a lawyer.
John Etheridge is out there.
And Chief Cox was kind enough to make arrangements for West County SWAT. So when you go on the tour, you'll have also static displays out there. We have some motors from Orange and other places. I see my friends from Costa Mesa are here. Thank you. Newport. Remember, gentlemen, this is where you send your people. Okay.
Thank you so much. So I'm Lynn Sametta from the Huntington Beach City Council, representing the city of Huntington Beach, and I have to say it is extreme point of pride that we are the host city to this amazing regional justice criminal justice center. So very proud of that. Thank you so much for all the work that everyone has done to make this happen. Michael Josephson, you're one of my heroes. I love character counts. Also the justice, I loved your comments because I was actually able, Chief Handy took me on a tour of our police facility recently and got to see everything that goes in the back of those patrol cars and everything that they have to do, but you educated me much more. It is an awesome job, an awesome amount of training that our officers have to go through. So, on behalf of the City of Huntington Beach, I want to congratulate Golden West College on the grand opening of your Regional Criminal Justice Training Center. I have this for you.
I've done this before.
My name's Phil Smith, and I am a field representative for State Senator Janet Wynn. And this facility is in the city of Huntington Beach, and it's also in Senate District 34, which is hers. So I'm very happy to be here, and she would be here herself if she could. Congratulations to all of you. Best wishes. It's an overwhelming facility, and you should all be very proud, which I'm sure you are.
Not for me. Hi, my name is Stephanie Couch, and I am here as a field representative for Assemblymember Matthew Harper of the 74th District. So it's my pleasure to be here today, and Matthew also sends his thoughts and best wishes to the new facility on its opening day and its ribbon cutting. So yeah, he's very wholeheartedly supporting of the students that come through this facility and wishes them all the best. So it is my pleasure to present the certificate in honor of the grand opening of the training center.
On behalf of Michelle Steele, Supervisor, 2nd District, your supervisor in this district, it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here today before these men and women, the leaders, the rank and file, the alumni who have served and gone before. The supervisor has a Board of Supervisors meeting going